Congratulations to the Detroit Pistons.
Yes, sir.
For only the third time in franchise history did they tally 60 wins in the season. While doing so, they acquired the number one seed in the Eastern Conference in early November, and they held that for a jaw-dropping 156 days without relinquishing it. Also, they became the first team in history to lose 60 games or more, and then only 2 seasons later win 60 games or more. So shout out to the guys for once again making history. Last year, of course, they tripled their win total for the first time in NBA history. Now they are a 60-win number one seed. And it appears that even with these historic feats, the odds makers and commentators view the Pistons as a team that is ahead of schedule. Most sports books give us about the 6th best odds to win the title behind the Thunder, Spurs, Celtics, Nuggets, and Cavs. So I'm going to ask the people's champ, man. Do you like the underdog role or you like LeBron? Do you want your damn respect? What say the people's champ?
I don't like the underdog role for the simple fact that when it comes from the media, they don't hide the disrespect that comes with it.
You know, I'm kind of the same way. It's kind of like a cute little story. Yeah. They pat us on the head.
Yeah, that's the part.
We held the number one spot in the conference for 156 days. We took it in early November. It ain't like, we just kind of squeezed in at the end. Like, no, we dominated the conference all year. We ran the yard all year. It wasn't like, we kind of snuck in at the end. No, but I'm with you. But go ahead, man. I'll let you finish your commentary.
But no, I mean, and like if it was any other, situation, maybe. But it's like, okay, well, what more do you want? Like everything that was thrown in front of this team, we were like next.
Yep.
And I think that type of effort and output and, let alone results, should garner way more respect than more so it does almost kind of like a dismissive, like, I mean, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's real nice what the Pistons did. Isn't that great what the Pistons did? They turned it around in 3 years. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like,
I get you. I'm with you. I'm on your tip.
That's the vibe that I get when I hear the whole underdog thing because, but we've like you say, we've done it throughout since November.
We took the number one.
I mean, that's like pillar to post.
Yep. That's what. Yeah, basically, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like what the season start in late November. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Late October.
Late October.
Yeah, late October. Yeah, I mean the season starts in late October. We took the number one seed in early November and never gave it up.
And when OKC does it, it's nothing but respect, and rightfully so.
I mean, yeah, right. Yo, well, I agree.
It was never OKC's ahead of schedule. Like, no, why can't it be the Pistons have surpassed the Knicks?
Yep.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is approaching his mid-30s and can't survive through a season and postseason. It's starting to become a regular occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
Joel Embiid, God bless him. We'll get into that in the whole Philadelphia situation. I mean, so like, we give Joe Mazzulla his credit, but they've done it.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
It's like, you would expect them. Now, did you expect them to be a 2 seed? Probably not. Right. But I didn't expect them to be, fighting with Orlando and who's ever at the bottom, of the East right now to play in. I mean, these guys are champions. Yeah. Playoff tested, battle tested. Yeah, I mean, they have a culture. They have a system there.
Finals MVP. I mean, it's like he's not some bum. Right.
So it's like, okay, like, no, the Pistons are for real. Now, I mean, like I said, we'll get into what's next. But yeah, and as it goes to your comment and your question, I should say, about the underdog narrative. Yeah, I think it's laced with disrespect.
Yep. I'm kind of in the same boat. Part of me likes to fly under the radar, but I agree. I feel that there's a tinge of disrespect there. Particularly when they have Cleveland having better odds than us. James Harden has not been to the finals since the first Obama administration, and Donovan Mitchell has never been to a conference final.
It's spring again.
Right, yeah, the winter soldier. So, and I mean, and listen, definitely the Celtics have a championship pedigree. You have to respect what they've done. But they've been, again, like I brought this up before, they've been to the conference finals 5 times in the last 8 years. They've advanced to the finals twice. It's not as if, they automatic, when they get to the conference finals, they still got to win.
And what about the middling Miami Heat?
Right, yeah, I mean, yeah, and like you said, the New York Knicks even, I mean, I'm not afraid of.
They took a step back and they have no path forward because all of their draft picks were wasted on wings that all they're concerned with are getting their games played stats, and that's about it.
Yeah, and I mean, and I was gonna bring this up later, but I mean, listen, there have been 2 small guards that have led a team to a championship in the NBA. That's Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas, and I think Jalen Brunson is tough. I think he's a really good player. I wouldn't disrespect Jalen Brunson. I don't put him quite in that ilk with those 2, though. I don't think I'm breaking any news by saying that. He's really good. He's not Steph Curry or Isaiah Thomas, though.
That's fair, but I think him being Jalen Brunson is enough.
Jalen Brunson is tough. I don't know that I think Jalen Brunson can lead a team to a championship. I don't know that I believe that he can do that. And that's not a dig at him. Okay. I just think that's a hard thing for a small guard to do. Allen Iverson couldn't do it, and I think Allen Iverson was great. I don't think that Allen Iverson had any deficiencies that kept him from doing it. I just think it's a hard thing for a small guard to do.
The only reason, and my disagreement comes from, because I think basketball-wise, it's hard to dispute what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think I'm coming from an aspect of what's around Jalen Brunson.
Yes,
because he has a 7-foot number 1 pick on his team, who, who thinks he's Jeff Malone.
Yeah,
if Karl Anthony Towns in big game, high stakes situations resembled a number 1 pick more than a second rounder in the 3-point shootout.
Yeah, listen.
Things would. I think the results for the Knicks would be different.
You know how I feel about Karl Anthony Towns in high leverage situations. I agree with you.
I think that. Yes, I think Jalen Brunson has a ceiling per se, especially if you're talking, within a 7-game series.
Yeah.
But I also feel that, on the right team, he'll be the guy making the biggest plays offensively in those moments. Okay. I think he can do that.
Yeah, listen, I think he's a really good clutch player. I question whether or not he can be the best player on a championship team.
That's fair. Okay, so let's say this. Do you think they could say if he was the best offensive player on a championship team, but they added like a dynamic defender? Like say instead of Karl Anthony Towns, they had Scotty Barnes.
Now that's, so let me say this, because I think that OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are 2 of the best perimeter defenders in basketball.
Right.
I think that, to your point, that's the idea that they had when they went out and built the team the way that they did. I agree that me and you, we're in lockstep on Karl Anthony Towns. I don't trust him in any high leverage situations. I agree with you there. I 100% agree. Him being your best big is problematic because I'm not sure that he gives you what you need in the biggest moments. Because you know how I feel.
Right.
Easy baskets is the way.
Yes.
When it's high leverage time.
Yeah.
The fact that you are maybe the best, big guy shooter ever, that's cool. But when it's winning time, I need something near the basket. I need you to be able to work out on the inside.
We need a bucket, not a three.
Exactly. Yeah, I need some high percentage that I know is going in.
Because in those situations, to your point, there's a difference between a bucket and a 3-point attempt.
Yeah. This is my entire point. And we're gonna talk about talk about the play in and some of the end of game strategy that I witnessed last night because I had some criticisms, but I don't want to jump the gun.
But to wrap it up, I get your point about Jalen Brunson because I understand how he can be seen as like a mini like Harden in terms of like style of play with the ball domination. But I think the reason why I kind of lean towards him and favor him.
And I like Jalen Brunson.
It's because, I've seen him deliver. But
I'm
it's
not
like
trying to knock on him.
No, I know you're not.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
But it takes a lot to win a championship.
Yes.
And it takes a lot from the elite players to win a championship and to be able to sustain it.
This is my thing. And I'm like, man, that's a big burden. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, especially for a small guard, I think a lot is asked of a small, like you got to be versatile. You know what I'm saying? Like, like sometimes you got to be able to get the shot. Sometimes you got to be able to create the shot. Sometimes.
Let's just say, for example, because again, it goes back to the Towns thing. And I think we can kind of, where I remove Jalen Brunson, I look at, say, like the Spurs with Tony Parker.
Right.
Where in that final series, Tony Parker was the best player.
Yes.
But the force.
Yeah.
Was Timmy.
Of course, yeah. All five of them was with Timmy.
Jalen doesn't have that.
No, of course not. Yeah, I agree.
Karl Anthony Towns' presence hamstrings what Mitchell Robinson can do.
I mean,
you get what I like.
If they had Tim Duncan, they would win.
Well, I mean, but what we're saying, but with the smaller guards and being it, because like there were moments, which I mean, hence he won final, but throughout that playoff run, where Tony Parker was on one.
Oh yeah.
Like he was on one.
Yes,
and we've seen Jalen go off.
Yeah, and Jalen Brunson is a monster. I love Jalen Brunson. I do. And I'm not saying that as a knock against him. I'm just saying that it's hard to lift your team to a championship, and what is asked of a small player, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear you.
It's a lot.
That's only been done twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a big ask. And those are two of the very best players in the history of the game. What you got, nephew?
I just wanted to ask before we put a bow on it. Is Cat the biggest factor in the Knicks avoiding the upset?
Oh wow, that's a good one. Yeah, because you know what, you kind of jump in the head because we're gonna do a playoff preview, but that's a good question.
If you want to table it, then
no, that's a good question. Hold on, I'm thinking if he's the biggest factor, and them avoiding the upset. You know what? I think he's a factor. I think the biggest factor is probably going to be Bridges and how well he can play because they have great wing defenders. So I think actually Cat is probably going to be okay because I don't think Okongwu is going to bother him all that much. He'll probably be fine. I'm interested in the wing matchups. I'm interested in what they're going to be able to do with Jalen Johnson. And, and I think OG will probably not have too difficult a time with him. But I'm just wondering with Dyson Daniels out there on the wing, I can envision a scenario where he erases Mikal Bridges. And that's bad for the Knicks. I think Mikal Bridges is going to need to have a good series in order for them to make quick work in order for them to even get the series win. Because I can see a 7-game series, and in the 7th game, even in the Garden, anything can happen. And while I think that the Knicks do have the best player in the series in Jalen Brunson, I think Atlanta's got the most talented player in the series in Jalen Johnson. which is a distinction with a very important difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, while Brunson is the better player, I think Johnson is more, you know what I'm saying, like in terms of what all he can do on the floor. With the,
I know, Jay. Yeah. I mean, he can struggle and have an impactful triple-double.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's very talented.
I agree.
Like, he can impact the game in a lot of different ways. So,
are we digging into that series? Like,
no. Okay. Hold on. Yeah.
No,
I'll
say we'll table it.
We're gonna go there. Yeah, we're gonna go there. So yeah, but I agree with you in terms of the Pistons thing.